Hello there, this is Rob from Snug Recording Company. I wanted to make a little video today because I've been working with my good friend Dan Johnson, who is a musician, a fantastic jazz guitar player, composer, and Dan, in his own words, likes to find fun ways to abuse music theory using different techniques, technology, all sorts of forms of abstraction and things like that. So I wanted to get together with Dan and use some of the gear that we have here at the studio in ways that maybe we don't always get to use it. So we wanted to have some fun and use some of the physical drum machines, synths and stuff that we've got here. The reason why we wanted to use some of these physical instruments was for a few reasons. One is that we wanted to try and find a way of having real electronic instruments kind of feel like they're jamming with us, feel like they're introducing variation and some randomness and things like that. We're not necessarily trying to humanize them, we're just trying to make them play something along with us that maybe has some inhuman quality, but that still sounds quite musical and provides variation and isn't just a loop. So we want to break out of loops. One of the other things that we wanted to do was to use some of this gear in ways that you can't really use software. So you can't really do some of these things in the box. So we want to make the most of the fact that we've got these hardware devices and that we can connect them in different ways and use them in sort of fun and interesting configurations. And finally, we wanted to explore ways that we could use electronic instruments, make them playable, make them a little bit more responsive to human ways of performing. So those were our kind of aims. So we created this track. It's quite a free-form, sort of jazzy sort of thing, but I really like the way that it flows, really like some of the feel and how many happy accidents are kind of crammed in. Obviously this would be a great point to now take it further, develop those ideas, maybe edit it down a little bit further, and really refine what it's doing. But to be honest, that's not really where we want it to go today. We want it to be a free-form kind of fun exploration of these tools. Okay, so in this video, I'm just going to go through a few of the techniques that we used, some of the equipment and stuff, and just really quickly blast through so that you can have a listen to the track. And then I'd love to hear your thoughts on the track, and if you have any ideas and techniques that you use to kind of liven up your electronic productions, yeah, I'd love to hear them. So leave us some comments, ask us any questions, and let us know if there's anything that you'd like us to cover in a future video. Okay, so here's the mess. Okay, so first up, the mono machine. We didn't actually use any sounds directly from the mono machine, which is a shame because it is a great sounding synthesizer. What we did use it for was to clock everything, so provide the synchronization between different elements, and we also used it to generate, out of one of these extra outputs, we used it to generate a little trigger, which would then drive the sequencer on this Arturia microbrute, and then assign these triggers on the pads here, which basically allows us to quickly change the triggers. And what it basically means is that if we have, say, 5 notes recorded into the sequencer on the microbrute, and then we put in 6 triggers into a bar, into a loop on the mono machine, it means that loop will never be the same. So those 5 notes, it'll go back to the first note before the loop actually finishes. So you get this kind of never repeating pattern of notes from the microbrute. What this was doing is mainly running this little sequencer here, which is providing triggers for the Nord drum machine, which is providing the kick and snare sound. And also there is a noise source that we use to create a hi-hat. There's various bits of modulation and things going on here to make sure, again, that we're not creating like really repetitive patterns or anything like that. It also triggered some little blasts of audio from the Moog Little Fatty, which were then being processed by the reverb, which is down in here somewhere. Okay, so I'm not going to go too much further into this. A lot of it is all patched together, and to be honest, I can't remember what everything is patched in doing, but there's a lot of modulation sources, a lot of things crossing over, some things not synced tempo, and just to introduce bits of randomness, bits of sort of less musical modulation amongst some of the sounds. So now I guess it's time to give you a play of the track. I hope you like it. Leave us any comments or questions, and I hope you enjoy it.